Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and welcome, Congresswoman Stefanik. Welcome to your family, who's with you today as well. Now, whether fighting the spread of infectious diseases or stemming the flow of fentanyl that kills Americans, combating transnational crime that costs Americans billions of dollars, negotiating political settlements to dangerous conflicts, the work of the United Nations directly affects Americans all across this country. We benefit from UN peacekeeping missions that would otherwise fall to the American military. We are better off because of efforts to stabilize societies and provide life-saving assistance in places like Sudan, Syria, and Ukraine. And we don't just do this out of the goodness of our hearts. We fund these efforts because they make Americans, as Secretary Rubio said in his hearing, safer, stronger, and more prosperous. Equally important, if we don't do it, our adversaries and competitors will. Representative Stefanik, welcome again to this committee. Congratulations on your nomination to be U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations. From working in the Bush administration on the Domestic Policy Council to being the youngest woman elected to Congress, you have strong credentials and the relevant experience for this role. But today I'd really like to hear your vision for the United States at the United Nations. I've certainly taken note of the skepticism in the United Nations expressed by others in the incoming administration and also expressed by your introducers today and Chairman Risch. In the past, you have voted to defund the United Nations and its specialized agencies. Certainly, I would agree that the United Nations is an imperfect body, but the UN is also a force multiplier of American taxpayer money. U.S. disengagement is something our adversaries want, especially Russia and China. At his hearing last week, Secretary Rubio said China is our most potent and dangerous adversary, and Beijing's contribution to the UN is almost 7 times what it was 2 decades ago. China has had great success increasing the number of nationals employed at the UN, and so when we cut back, they are ready and very eager to fill that void. Under the first Trump administration, the U.S. withdrew from UNESCO, an agency that, among many things, combats anti-Semitism and establishes international technology standards that affect our industries. When we stepped back, Beijing stepped in and is now UNESCO's largest financial contributors. So I'm really interested in your thoughts on how the U.S. can compete with China across every United Nations agency. One agency at the UN that I think is particularly important is the UN Population Fund, or UNFPA. Globally, 1 in every 5 girls is married before reaching age 18. Too many girls in too many countries, as you know very well, face female genital mutilation and forced child marriage. UNFPA provides critical reproductive and maternal care. It reaches 3 times as many countries as our bilateral family planning program. And in some areas like Darfur and Kordofan, it is the main provider of life-saving reproductive health supplies. Things like childbirth delivery kits that reduce infection for women giving birth outside clinical settings. I believe its work is irreplaceable. Now, if confirmed, I hope we can work together to advance United States interests at the UN. Because when the United States takes a leadership role at the UN, Americans and people around the world are better off. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I welcome the testimony of Congresswoman Stefanik and hearing her views.